Hello and welcome back to Savvy Sprocket. We are taking another night to get more work done in the shop, as tomorrow we have some extra hands coming along to help expedite the build out here. So we're going to be back in the same area that we were in the last video, working on some demo, doing a little bit of final cleanup and a little bit of sealant action before some new wood starts getting thrown in tomorrow. So let's dive right in. Now the area in question is right along the base of the cinder block wall here, where we had pulled out originally the old metal studs that were holding some drywall. That I'll have to get ripped out just because we are adding more storage space, kind of a second floor mezzanine type area in this location. So that's going to get reframed with all new lumber and actually framed correctly to support load. So what I'm going to be working on is just going along this crack here, just cleaning it up and just getting it prepped for a new sill seal to sit there with a bottom plate on it. There was just a couple areas that there was some ant action, and clearly there was a little bit of exposure from the elements coming in. So just gonna get that cleaned up and sealed up so it is ready for construction in the morning. Time for the other side. It is the following morning, and I now have a nice bead of sealant running all along this kind of cold joint at the bottom here. And while I was at it, I also filled this vertical crack between this division firewall. Just looks like the grout or cement, whatever they had used to attach that, shrinked away, and there was a little bit of an opening. So I just went ahead and filled that up too, just before we get it covered. So we're gonna go ahead and get everything else prepped for the additional help that's coming in today to help do the framing. I'm probably gonna switch over to a bit of a time-lapse mode because it's gonna be a little bit faster paced and a little bit more difficult to film. So go ahead and enjoy that. Yeah. With that, we almost have a second story built. Just a few more joists for the guys to throw up on top of there, then a bit of decking, and the core structural components have been built. As you could see from the time lapse there of them go ahead and getting to work on this, we ended up deciding not to build this ourselves. The original kind of game plan was to take a shot at it. However, after we reassessed timelines and looked at costs and everything, it really just made more sense to go ahead and ask the contractors that we worked with prior to help us out on this one, and they did a great job. Really speedy work. It just took basically two guys, essentially one day to do this whole piece that you see built here. So as you can see, essentially doing 2x12 16 footers to span roughly a 15 foot space. It's going to be completely open and clear down at the bottom here, and then once complete, those joists are again going to run this whole length here to totally enclose this space. For the bathroom, we are going to go ahead and rebuild those to continue the second floor space out above it on this end. And we took the liberty to push this bathroom wall in a little bit, just make it a little smaller, and rearrange this door. So once this is all done, you're going to enter this first small bathroom from the enclosed clean space, and then the other one is still going to basically be the same footprint around on the other side. And with that said, that old bathroom needs to get out of the way. So that's what I'm going to do. It's about 8 o'clock in the evening, and I just rigged up some lights up top so I can see a little bit better, but I'm going to jump into it and see how much of this I can get taken out tonight. There you go, 2 hours later, and all the framing is pretty much gone. I still have quite a bit of cleanup to do, obviously. Then I just have to grind off the bottom plates that again were shot into the concrete, and then there was one stud up with the wall with a little bracket there, also still get ground off. And then I will just finish chipping up the rest of the tile there, and we will be ready to basically start reframing. few seconds later for you, but a day later for us. The guys were able to finish all the floor joists up top for this front area. And again, this front area is basically going to be a enclosed, more of a clean workshop space. It's about 15 feet deep by the 28-30 feet wide. So that's just about does it for the framing in this section, and we can prep to start moving on to the electrical work and the low voltage lines that we're going to have to run in here. On top of that, the framers were also able to almost get everything framed back up for the bathrooms. The bathrooms, again, basically are the same size that were in place. However, none of those walls were correctly built to support any load, and the floor structure that's going to be up on that second story there, we plan to continue it out basically to the over the bathrooms to make use of that high area space up top. We also went ahead and added a small utility closet kind of in line with the bathrooms out front, and then the one last major piece of kind of first story framing that needs to happen is the staircase that's going to come out of that opening and terminate basically out here just on the inside of the main doorway. So we're going to have a nice set of stairs that are going to go up there, and that's going to be our main access to the second story. Now the framers will be back one more day here to go ahead and install basically just a 4-foot half wall along the perimeter here, just kind of for safety precaution, that we're probably just going to cover with sheetrock to make it look a little bit cleaner. But that's kind of the last major job that they have to do. I'll make sure to capture that in another time lapse coming up shortly for you, so you can take a look at that. But before that, this HVAC duct here is obviously in the way. This was one of the other units that was installed in the space prior, that was essentially all ducted down through drop ceiling. The previous company that was in the space really didn't utilize much of the high bay potential. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is hop on the scissor lift here and help the guys out by just getting this totally out of their way so they have no strange obstruction to have to work around when they're back here next week. Yeah. So there you have it. That just about does it for this section of ductwork that needed to come down, and it is all clear for the framers to start laying some decking. They have a little bit more framing to do, mainly probably the staircase they're going to throw together first, a couple more joists over the bathroom area there, and then they can go ahead and start throwing down the decking on the second floor. Given they won't be back to start on that decking for a day or so, I'm going to continue along, working my way back. It's a bit dark there, but you can see, I mean, this is the HVAC unit that I just disconnected the main supply line from. I'm going to go ahead and start continuing to take that apart, and then there's some further decking, further ducting out in the rear that also needs to come down. This whole ceiling section is basically going to be cleaned up and stay completely open. that is just going to about do it for this shop update video. If you've made it this far, I really want to thank you for your view. The support on the channel is much appreciated. Go ahead and check out any of the other videos that I have up at this point, and stay tuned for future videos on the shop build and many other exciting builds. See you in the next one.